Hey, good morning. My name is Drew Anderson. I am currently a student enrolled at Jones Technical College here in Jacksonville, Florida. And currently I'm doing a project for my fundamentals class. And I'm going to be making a video for you to show you how to remove and replace a side view mirror on a 2011 Chevy Avalanche LTZ. First LTZ, the side view mirrors have a bunch of different options, one of which includes actual power folding. So today, and that's my problem on my passenger side, you'll see from the driver's side that when I go to automatically fold it, it works just fine. You can hear that noise in the background. That is the passenger side. So this goes in and that goes out just fine. Now, I don't want to listen to that, and plus it's not even moving at all, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Notice I have my door panel puller. If you don't have one of those, that's fine. You can use a paint scraper or something with a little rigidity that has a thin edge. Next to that, I have a very small flat tip screwdriver. Reason for that is I'm going to have some clips that I'm going to have to get into. Next, I have my ratchet and with my extension, and of course, the old trusty 10 millimeter. Can't go wrong with that. Next to that, I have some wire cutters and also a pair of needle nose pliers. Now, this job doesn't necessarily require needle nose pliers, but I find that most jobs that I do, it's always good to have a set around. And finally, you can see we have black, gray, brown, and white. And they're actually all labeled right here on the panel itself. If you look down, you can actually see the writing. So once again, like I said, dummy proof. And that's exactly what I need. Next up, we actually have the door latch itself. So just pull this back. There's a little notch right here where you get your flathead screw, and you can see this just pops right out. That's simple. Pop that in my handy dandy little parts container. And you can see right here, we have the first of our 3 10 millimeter bolts right there. Next up, we have the door handle panel itself. Now, although it's hard to see, if you look down in there, you can kind of see the point where it actually comes, where you can slip a screwdriver under there. There is no tab or notch, so you just got to get your screwdriver under there and it comes right out. And then again, now you look down here and you can actually see the next 2 10 millimeter bolts that we're going to have to remove. Now, although I could have continued with the ratchet, I went ahead and decided to use a extended screwdriver with an adapter for sockets. I just find that it gives me a little bit of extra room. Now, if you drop the 10 millimeters while you're doing this, don't worry. They're just going to fall into the door panel. You'll be able to get them out pretty easy. So, although we don't want to go dropping things, we're not going to hurt anything if we drop it here. And I dropped it. Now that we have all the accessories removed, now we're actually going to go ahead and remove the door panel itself. So when you do this, there's always the possibility, they're held in by a bunch of clips. So when you do this, there's always a possibility of breaking some. So you can get your clips anywhere and pretty easily at any AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, or you can get them online, whatever the case may be. But just be mindful of that. No need to try to yank this thing off as hard as you possibly can. If you pop it right, it will come off. Now that I have the door panel off, I can actually either take something and rest, and so I can put it underneath it so I can just rest it, or I'm going to do, which is a little bit more, requires a few more steps, but it's still pretty simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually remove the door handle from the core where it actually goes to the outside handle. So there's two tabs, both of them on the inside. There's one here and one on the exact opposite side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a flathead and I'm going to push this down. I'm going to turn it while it's still pushed down and actually get the other side. And that'll allow me the room to pop it out of that ball right there. So forgive my hands while they get in the way for a few minutes. And as you can see, it's already out, and boom, there it goes. Comes right out. Now I can remove the door. So as you can see, it's not a difficult process at all. It's just making sure you keep control of your parts, making sure that you have everything you need. And the installation process is actually just the flip of the reverse. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. Make sure to install the nuts now, that way you don't end up dropping a whole mirror on yourself while trying to do this project. That would be unfortunate. Now the last mirror I had on actually had zip ties on it, but if you'll notice right here, this mirror right here itself actually comes pre-made with clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these zip tie portions right here and go ahead and utilize this, so that way I can just put the clips right into the place where they're designed to do. And remember I brought up the point about the needle nose pliers? I'm going to use them. And just like that, the mirror is tight, and now I can go ahead, the mirror is tight, and this is routed, so I can go ahead and install the door panel back on. that's it. Now we put everything back together. Before you tighten. And as you can see, all colors matchy-matchy. Okay, now that we've got everything put back together, notice I have the mirror in right now. So actually what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just fire up the truck, and or at least the battery, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure the mirrors work. So here we go. Looks like success.